Hello and welcome to Stitching with My Kitties, floss tube number 37. Today is Sunday, 24 August 2025, and I'm Patty Penn. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I hope you enjoyed today's floss tube. If you're new to my channel, I hope you will like what you see and subscribe and tell all your friends to subscribe too. I will not be making another floss tube until Sunday, 21 September. My next floss tube should be the 7th of September. I think that's Stacy May in the background. Silly girl. And that's when we're actually getting on the ship for the Stitchers Escape cruise with Celebrity Cruises and Jean Farish. I'm taking a class from Jean as well as one from Bryn, that's a sampler designer class, and one from Karen, which is Frosty Friends Needlebook. And I finished my Frosty Friends finally. It took me Daisy May, I don't know what you're doing. Sorry. I finally finished my Frosty Friends. It's not, it's probably, I don't know, 67 by 87 or something, but there's a lot of stitching and my stitches look terrible. I'm off a row and I just fudged it and I'm just glad it's done. So that would be the 7th. The next one would have been the 14th. However, we'll still be in Vancouver. We're not flying back to DC until that Monday, the 15th. Hence, it'll be the 21st of September. I will be posting, of course, to my Instagram all the fun things we're doing while we're up in the Pacific Northwest. I am going to finally talk about our week in Tanzania after we left Kenya, because today's video is not going to be very long, I don't think. However, I'm going to put that at the very end, so if you're not interested in any non-stitchy stuff, please feel free just to shut off and go on to the next wonderful floss tube. I noticed that Carol Saltbox Stitcher has a new video up, I should say. Stitch and Scotty, Dottie has a new floss tube. I haven't been able to look at it yet. Hopefully after this, after I film, I'll get to both of those. And Marcy has been doing her garden blog still. And I think I just saw the picture, but I think she has a new one on the new chickens. So I'm just loving those. And I binge watch We Stitch and We Know Things. That's my friend Jeanne and her daughter Ashley. They are beautiful stitchers. They do gorgeous work. And I had gotten behind on them, but I've watched their last 3. She's trying to tear up the formal living room. She was thinking about getting on top of the china cabinet with my hummels and all of my eggs. Y'all want a kitty? Just kidding, kinda. And of course, Niecy Lynn, you gotta watch her, she's hilarious. I'm behind on Christy's floss tubes. Salty Stitcher Designs. I've got to get caught up on hers too. So I've got a lot of watching to do. I don't know how I got so far behind because typically I watch them as they come out. So anyway, so on Tuesday night, Niecy Lynn, Dottie, and I all Zoomed. That was so much fun. Dottie is coming to the Royal Retreat with Sampler Guild of the Rockies, and she's going to stay with Niecy and me. So we're going to have so much fun. I'm so excited. I have the hotel already, but I don't have my flight booked. Dottie has done everything. She's got her flight booked and everything. And so we will, I've got to get flights for Stitch West also. And I have a feeling I'm gonna have to fly through Dallas again, which is fine because I can meet up with Niecy as long as my flight's not delayed, getting out of here or landing. And y'all remember that whole thing. That was not good. So after I finished up Frosty Friends last night. Let me just go ahead and show you the finish. So this is going to be the needle book. Isn't he adorable? I don't know why I had so much trouble stitching this. It's on 32 count, and my friend Judy, hey Judy, since I've been stitching so much on neutrals, she wondered if the colored fabric, but you know I love this. I think this is called Polar Ice by Fox and Rabbit, but it's 32 count, and I stitched it with 2 DMC flosses, or 2 DMC threads. And I think that might have had something to do with why I'm not happy with my stitches also. But anyway, I just think he's adorable. I love him. I can't wait till the class and get him finished up and put him in my Frosty Stitchy box. Because, you know, I got on there, I have gone down that rabbit hole also. So once I finished him, that's the last thing I did last night. And this morning I got up because I was so excited. I'm going to go finish Jessie Challenor. And my goal is to have her finished by the Wednesday before we leave for Vancouver. So I got her out this morning. Actually, I got the chart out and all of that last night. So got up this morning, I was stitching the border, and I ran out of the floss that was in the needle. So I went to get another strand of floss. So the chart is charted for 103s, Soie d'Argent, and DMC. So I looked and I couldn't find the number. And I had taken all of the other flosses and off the needle because I do 1 needle for each color. And I have one of those long triangular things that you put your needles in. And I had taken all that out because all I have left is the purple and the olive green. The olive green for the border and the purple for the rest of the writing. I've already got Jessie Challenor. I just have to put the school back in and the date. So I'm like, well, did I take those flosses off the ring? So I pulled everything out of my stitchy bag, my project bag. They weren't in there. I went to look to see if the purple was on the ring. That one wasn't there either. So I'm going, what in the world did I do with my floss? So I got all the project bags out that are downstairs that are currently have whips in them. Pulled everything out of all of them. I think there was 6 or 7. The floss was nowhere. So, what are you doing?
Guess what all you look like when I see you on TV. Sometimes you look like this, sometimes you look like this. Once in a while you look like this, but most of the time you look like this. So.
You're a nut.
Just want to make sure I follow the protocol.
You need to tell Judy and Niecy Lynn hello, and Dottie.
Hello.
He's a nut. I kept telling him, Judy, that you thought he needed to make a cameo appearance. So now you have it. You asked for it, Judy, remember. So anyway, I can't find the floss anywhere. So I go and pull up the Addict's website, wrote down their phone number and the 2 colors that I needed because I was just going to have to get new skeins because I could not find it. So I was so disgusted with myself. And so I started plugging the numbers into my phone. I have the X-Stitch app on my phone that I keep up with all of my linens, all of my flosses, and all of my charts. A lot of the numbers were missing for the Soie d'Angers. I had been looking at the wrong numbers. I was looking at the 103s, not the Soie d'Angers. I did not take the flosses off the ring. They're there where they should be. So I was happy then. Went back and started working on Jessie. I didn't bring her in here. I just had a little bit of the border. It wasn't enough to show you. So, but I just kept thinking, you know, Niecy Lynn does this all the time. She's always putting stuff in the wrong project bag when she finishes her floss tube. Now she's rubbing off on me. Thank goodness I figured it out. 103's numbers are not the same as Soie d'Angers or DMC, just so you know. I wanted to, so I was telling Niecy Lynn the story this morning. She and I were talking. I was upstairs and I was making some resin things and finishing up some project bags. And so we talked for about an hour. I had her on speakerphone. I was going from room to room, and so we had a fun time. But I told her, you know, she was rubbing off on me. I do want to just mention the tariffs. Evertotes came out with a floss tube that I watched this morning, and I watched Nickel Apartment, Hands Across the Sea, yesterday. Those are the only two that I have seen address the tariffs yet. I do know that a lot of foreign countries are not delivering anything to the U.S. Postal Service, and I would assume that also goes to DHL and UPS and that thing called FedEx that I'm not going down there. I don't like FedEx. It's really hitting the mom and pops really hard since they're doing away with the de minimis $800 exemption. I have not seen anything from Fox and Rabbit or Cottage Garden Threads. Those are the other two companies that I get stuff from. I feel so bad. I just feel so terrible for these companies. And, this impacts our hobby. So it's really a sad situation. But I got Happy Mail this week, and it was from my sweet friend Kara. She was at Table 24 at StitchCon in June, but she was at the table with Harry and Nancy, the disorderly stitcher. But we did get to spend some time. We had a pizza party. So that was fun, but she sent me this gorgeous thank you card and a sweet note inside. And she sent, I love these are just so pretty. She sent floss drops, and it has, she is on Instagram is Pink Daisy Stitch. Can you see that? What am I doing here? Okay, Pink Daisy Stitch. So, these are so pretty. And she sent me some project cards. And I love project cards now. Those and floss drops. And then she sent me two of my very, very favorite colors of classic colorworks. Blacksmith Blue and Caroling. Now, Niecy got the same package that I did. And Niecy wasn't sure she was familiar with caroling, but I like it because it's more of an Americana red to me, rather than a Christmas red. So, Kara, thank you so much. She and her niece Tara, this was their first time at Stitch West, so I'm hoping they'll be back next year for Table 24's 3rd anniversary of StitchCon. So again, Kara, thank you so much. So my book of days, I've got a couple of things to show you. So this is my August stitching, and all of this here is when I was still working on Frosty Friends. But I bought a little thermal printer, a little sticker printer. It just prints black on white background, or black on, you can get colored tape also. But I had some fun with it because I finally got it out and started playing with it. Got me my Kansas City Chiefs. Love me some Patty Mahomes. This is my, what does that say? Alaska, Here We Come. And I thought I did another one in here. Maybe not. Oh yeah, it was in June, I think. Nope. April, maybe? April, when we went to Stitch West. I got to get the undo out. I put this one in upside down. That's Susan. Hey Susan, Niecy, Lynn, and me. And then here is Christy. Hey Christy, Niecy, Lynn, and me. So we had so much fun, and that little thing is so much fun to play with. So I did that Friday evening for a little while. So like I said, I'm trying to catch up on my floss tubes that I'm behind on. But let me show you, I have one thing that I pulled out today to go. She just ran through the living room, jumped on the chair, jumped on the ottoman, onto the chair, onto the back of the chair. That is what you heard, that boom or whatever. Now she's again trying to get on top of the china cabinet. I don't know what's wrong with her. Anyway, so I'm going to show you my Halloween project bag that I made in just a minute. But I had ordered this from Fabric Flair. You know, I love Fabric Flair. And it's cat and bats. And look at that hat on that cat. So, here's the fabric that I'm going to put it on. Isn't that wonderful? When I go back upstairs, I've got to zigzag around the edge because I don't like leaving it raw like that. I think this is 28 count even weave, but it's all DMC, so it won't be as bad stitching with two you know, I don't like stitching with 2 strands of floss, but you know, I really do want to make this. And then here's half of the flosses, half of them. And here's my little floss ring that I made. This is one of the things I made when I was playing with my resin. And then Niecy Lynn went to a new shop and she got to play with resin yesterday too. That's my one plan that I had to show you. Now I know that I've mentioned several times that Niecy Lynn, Christy, and I are all doing Freak for the Beak Sow. And I went and divided the chart. It's over a year, but I divided it into 11 months so that we have the 12th month to finish it up if we get behind. Now, I will not do this as a stitch along. I'm going to do it as a start along because, you know, this having more than one project going at a time is just, I can't do it. It's just driving me crazy. So I decided that I'm just going to finish each project that's started, except for my 13 for the 250th sow that the Nancys are doing. Nancy with the smiling face and Nancy the disorderly stitcher. So I will do those, you know, and most of them are small. So I'll finish a project and then do a smaller two and then, you know, that way. So let me see. Let me show you some of the other resins that I did. I'm not going to show you all of them. except for the ones that are going with the project bags. So here's one. I thought he was cute. And then this one is one of my favorite ones. And here's another floss ring. Yeah, it's got a lot of confetti or glitter in there, and it's really shining. And then here is the little ghost floss ring. I think he's cute. And then just a couple more. This could be, I use these on the ball chain. A lot of times I'll use them as zipper pulls. So there's some of them that I did. I didn't pull them all out. So let me show you. I have a new pink stitchy box. Is this cute? Oops, my little animals, this is a point protector for your scissors. Let me get everything stood back up. Because this one has a pink bunny, a pink duck, and a pink frog. Well, so, and the stitchy boxes that I have finished before I started doing this, because Niecy Lynn was putting buttons on the little hanging tabs, I'm going to go back and finish them up, because I have one by my chair right now that doesn't have these and it looks naked. So I'm going to go back and add those. So here's one of my sets of project bags. Project bag, thread keep, or tray, and floss drop. Floss ring. So I love this fabric. I'm gonna have to make, I've got several different, let me show you the back too. Several different fabrics all in this same line. So I want to make some more. I just love, the colors are beautiful, you know, pink and violet for me, as well as it's got butterflies on it, and we have butterflies all over the house. So I made this one for a friend. I'm gonna send to a friend this week. Sorry for all the glare. It was not, it was overcast when I came down, but it's really, and I just made her, just attached some scissors to it. And then this one is Christie's, because I was texting with her and Niecy Lynn last weekend, and I showed her the fabric. I said, do you want one too? And she said yes. So this one's Christie's, and she has the same little pumpkin zipper pull, and then the thread bed, and the ort tray, and here's her scissors with the, that's not turned right. There it is. I don't know if you can see that real well. So that one is for Christy. Christy, I'll get that in the mail sometime this week. And then this one is for Niecy Lynn. Whoops. You don't need that. Sorry, I'm dropping things. Okay. This one's Niecy Lynn's because black is her favorite color. And I just think this cat is a hoot. Look at him. And then her ort tray. And her thread bed. And then here's her scissor fob. So that one's for Niecy. And then this one is mine. So here's mine, and they're all slightly different. They all have the same background, but the backs are different. And then my orc tray, and my thread bed, and my floss ring. So those were so much fun. Then I have only haul from one place, and it's from Siggy's Closet. Y'all know how much I love anything that Christy makes. I love. So here's one of the new fall zipper pulls. And this one, I couldn't decide between the two, so I had to get one of each, of course. And then look at this floss ring. Oh my gosh. Whoops. Autumn. Isn't that pretty? I can't get rid of that glare. And then there's the little charms and button. Look at this needle minder. It has a magnet on the back. Then it also, she clipped a nice threader. I love it, I love it, I love it. And then y'all know I had to get this one. I mean, how could I pass it up? Well, let me take it off the, hang on, I'm having an issue here. I'll take it off the card. All right, here it is. It's the bumblebee or the honeybee. And then it's got a bee charm and a couple little rhinestones. And then another needle minder that's I love, love, love. And lastly, I need to go back and see if she has any more of this style or this type. It's a sewing theme. And then it has a pair of scissors as the charm. And I love that. I had never seen them before. So I don't know if this is brand new to her shop. And I'll make sure I link her Etsy shop below. So that's my big haul for the week. Although I do have several things coming for market. So I'm excited about that. Okay. Now, shares from last time. I'm gonna hold these one more until my next floss tube, which will be the 21st of September. Lovebird Bouquet goes to Glenda Mitroff 2321. Now, Glenda, if these are not claimed by my next floss tube, I will put them back as shares again. So Glenda Mitroff 2321, please get in touch with me. You can send me a message on Instagram. I'm PattyPen4, the number 4, or email pattypen199@msn.com. I will try to remember and put both of those in the body of the show notes. You know, I'm not real good about remembering that. And then Sharon Williams 6787 got the You Belong to Meow. And last week's share, which was Shannon's Garden Square, and I love these colors, goes to Deb Smith 9332. Deb Smith 9332. And then our giveaway for today is the August Heart Square. Look at that. It's so pretty. Oh, I just love it. And use the word August if you're interested in this share. The word August. So that is all for the stitchy part of the video. If you're interested in hearing a little bit about our trip to Tanzania, I'm going right into that next. If you are leaving me, I'm glad you stopped in. Please like and subscribe and tell all your friends. So, before we actually crossed over into Tanzania, our last stop in Kenya was, hang on just a minute because I didn't write it down. Amboseli Park, or National Park. So when we left Amboseli, we went and had lunch and went through one of the little villages there in Kenya, near Amboseli. And we went through the banana plantation part of the little village. So we got to see, I forget how many varieties of bananas there were, but they had red bananas too. And I really would like to know what those tasted like. So this is, obviously the bananas are growing. And then this was our guide. This is what the bananas look like before they start growing. Look at those little bananas. Isn't that amazing? I love it. And as we were driving through the little village, lots of greenback baboons. The natives don't really like the baboons that much because they come in and steal the fruit and steal a lot of other things. So then we went and this was on Saturday the 8th, and we went and stayed at Lake Manyara, Serena Lodge for 2 nights. And wow. The first thing we did was the I practiced this and I'm still messing it up. Ngorongoro crater. It is the largest, what is it called? Calderon, which is a collapsed volcano, I think, in the world, the largest in the world. And it can get up to 2,000 feet deep. So this was as we drove into the crater property. It was amazing. I mean, look at that. This is just unbelievable. And then here's another picture of the crater. Oh, I want to go back so bad. That's, I enjoy looking at all the photos, but boy, it makes me want to go back. It was just an amazing trip, just the trip of a lifetime. And then one of the first animals we saw was a herd of Cape buffalo. And I don't think they're real happy creatures. They don't have a good personality, I don't think. Then there was, we had a picnic lunch, and there was some picnic tables, and this stork came up and stood right beside of the Jeep that we were in. That bird is 4 feet tall. There were people along one of the picnic tables. It went and stole something off of the table. The people scrammed. Yeah. Another picture of the Ngorongoro crater in Tanzania. And we saw herds and herds and herds of elephant. You've heard me say that before when I was talking about Kenya. But we did not see any of the birds on the backs of the elephants in Kenya. But we did see it in Tanzania quite often. This is still the crater. And then these birds, I can't remember what they're called. I should have tried to do some kind of AI search. Niecy Lynn will probably figure it out. But these are the prettiest birds. And then here's one a little closer. And I believe that's a pair, but I'm not positive. I can't remember exactly what the guide said. And then here is a close-up. look at those feathers. Is that a beautiful bird or what? Oh my goodness. Then we saw a lot of these birds' nests in the trees. Well, weaver birds are the ones that build those nests. The male builds the nest. Now, I forget the name of this weaver bird. There's one that's red, and I don't have a picture of it that I could find. The red one is the bishop weaver. They both build very similar nests. The male builds the nest. If the female doesn't like it, she won't go in. He has to build another one. Life's pretty good if you're a female weaver bird. Then we saw cheetahs again. And I think this was 2 of the 4 surviving cubs of the mother cheetah. They're almost 18 months old. It's about time for them to go out on their own. So that was all in the Ngorongoro crater. Then our next stop was the Olduvai Gorge. If you follow me, or if you not follow me, if you have studied evolution and how Homo sapiens came about, you will know Olduvai Gorge, and this is, okay. I'm gonna have to try to splice this together, geez. This is the Olduvai Gorge, where the first hominid was discovered, and that is the pit. There was no active digs while we were there. However, they are still digging in that area. So here's a picture of Damon and me. We were having so much fun. Then from there, we finally got to the Serengeti National Park in Tanzania. Now, the Serengeti is the same ecosystem as the Masai Mara in Kenya. They back up to each other, so it's the same. That's where the Great Migration happens, is between the Serengeti and the Masai Mara and back, where the zebra and the wildebeest cross the Mara River and then come back. And I can't remember how long that they actually stay in the Masai Mara before they make the trip back to the Serengeti. So there was so many birds in all of Africa, or Kenya and Tanzania. But this little guy had lunch with us, and I think he's beautiful. He was amazing. He was so cute. Then one morning, I think it was the last morning. Yeah, it was the last morning that we were in Tanzania. We were at the pioneer camp. The pioneer camp. I was having breakfast, and one of those birds came up and stole some butter off the table. So we saw lots and lots of giraffes, and I just read an article. There's actually 4 distinct giraffe, I don't know the term to use. They're genetically different, and that's very important because some of the giraffes are endangered in Africa. So this is one they're eating from the tree. But look at this. This is the thorns on the tree, and they're eating these little bitty green leaves. And the tree can actually, if the giraffes take too much off of one side of the tree or one area of the tree, it puts out a chemical where it doesn't taste good, and they'll go to another tree until the tree can kind of regenerate or regrow a little bit. But can you imagine? So that's why giraffes have such long eyelashes, it protects them from the thorns. And then, of course, you know, another close-up of the cave buffalo. I guess they're kind of cute though. And this is the site when we got to the Pioneer Camp. This is from it's elevated, and it's where the bar area is and where we had breakfast. We have no idea how many miles we were seeing across the Serengeti. I mean, you just can't even describe it. And then there was a whole family of oryx, and I just love them. Damon wasn't too thrilled with them. I think they're adorable. They think if they don't move, you don't think they're alive, but they are. And then our first morning out in the Serengeti, so this was the first full day, we came across another lion pride. It was a male and 4 lionesses. One of the lionesses was walking around him trying to get his attention. He wasn't real interested at the time. There he is. And then 3 of the lionesses were in the tree, and it's a sausage tree. But you can't eat the fruit of the sausage tree. But there's the sausage, you can just barely see it, but she's sound asleep. And isn't she beautiful? Oh my gosh. And one of the lionesses had jumped down, walked around to the male, came back by our Jeep. I could have reached out and touched her. She was so close. And then next to last, a pool of hippos, and they are hilarious. They only feed at night because they have to stay in the water to protect their skin. But the first night we were in the Masai Mara, we stayed there 2 nights, and the hippos came out of the water. Now, we didn't see them, but they came out and you could hear them. They were making all sorts of noise. And then the afternoon of the very last day, we finally got to see the 5th of the great 5, and that is the leopard. And look at him. He looks a lot like a cheetah. He is beautiful. And I don't know how long he had been up there. And we stayed. He moved his legs a couple of times, but that was it. So I hope you enjoyed our little trip through Tanzania. And I hope you have a great 4 weeks, 5 weeks, I've lost count. And I will see you again on the 21st of September. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.